Well, welcome to my new Senate prediction for May, so let's start. And there we go, so as you can see, there's already a big update from Pennsylvania. So in Pennsylvania, it is looking like Bob Casey, the incumbent, who last time won by a landslide margin of 13% back in 2018, is gonna face against one of the most unelectable candidates in a state like Pennsylvania, and he's probably gonna go against Doug Mastriano, since it's looking like he will run yet again in 2024. And with Barnett not running, I mean, as I said in my last prediction, alongside Devin McCormick probably being the only other major candidate, it's looking like Mastriano will easily win in the primary, which is going to be a really rough night for the GOP, and that's why I think Bob Casey will win here by anywhere from 15% to 20% against Mastriano. And if Mastriano's not the nominee, then it probably just drops to some, like, I don't know, 5 to 7%, but for now it's an easy Bob Casey landslide. And now for California. So in California, there hasn't been too many updates. I mean, as you can see, nothing for the GOP, but for the Democrats, here are all the candidates that have announced. Nothing new there, so I'm just gonna go to the primary for the Democrats, which is the most important part. And it's really between a fight of Katie Porter against Adam Schiff, and it's really quite close, so it's gonna come down to whoever gets the most support in the end. And yeah, it's either gonna be Schiff or Porter for the Senate seat in California. And moving on, so Minnesota, I think Amy Klobuchar will win there. Well, for Missouri, probably Josh Hawley, I think, will win there by just about 12%. Well, in Maine, I think independent Democrat Angus King will likely win there by the same margin as Minnesota and Missouri, so no changes there. And now for the likely states. So for the first one, it really shouldn't come to a surprise that New Jersey is likely dropping down to maybe like a 10% margin in 2024. Bob Menendez has not announced yet. He will likely announce soon if he's gonna run or not, but if he does decide to run in 2024, he's gonna underperform a lot of Democrats. Same Republicans here, so no new changes for the nominees or potential nominees, and that's why I think Bob Menendez will still win re-election just because it's New Jersey and it's a safety state, but still, I think he only wins re-election by 9% to 11%, so he maybe even drops down to single digits because of his scandals and all the ongoing investigations towards him. Moving on to a new update, technically. So for New Mexico, incumbent Senator Martin Heinrich recently announced that he is in fact running for re-election. That's really good news for the Democrats. It's one of those races that's really not known to many people. A lot of people just forget about New Mexico and Heinrich, and he's probably gonna win here by, I'm guessing the margin is typical, like 7 to 9%. I really can't say it's gonna be similar to 2018 because Johnson ran for Senate then, so I'm guessing like 7 to 9%, so yeah. And now for a more interesting race for sure, for Virginia. So we all know that Youngkin is not gonna run for Senate. Probably it's been something that has been rumored, but it's not gonna happen. Tim Kaine will either face Scott Parkinson, who is endorsed by, I think, a Club for Growth, which is a major organization. It doesn't show here, so maybe I'm mistaken. I know he has close ties to people like DeSantis and others, but yeah, as you can see, Solid D. Some people are saying Battleground for some reason. I don't know why. No matter what, I think it's gonna be either like Parkinson, Hung Kao maybe for the GOP nomination, and they're gonna do okay. The issue is that Virginia is almost a safety state, so it's gonna be hard for them to win as the Republicans here. And I see Tim Kaine winning here by, I think this is it the same margin as New Mexico? Yeah, I'm gonna say 7 to 9% win for Tim Kaine in his re-election bid. Moving on to a state and a race that has had some breaking news recently, and finally, after so much time, we actually got Jim Justice announcing that he's officially running for Senate. It already had been rumored that he was gonna run for months, And finally he did announce, and that's horrible news for Alex Mooney, who was endorsed by Ted Cruz and Jim Justice. I mean, he even has the endorsement of Republican Senator Capito, who's the senator of West Virginia, of course. So it's basically over. And Jim Justice probably also gets the Trump endorsement, so yeah, it's also over for Joe Manchin. So, I mean, this is an S-tier candidate for West Virginia Republicans, and I wouldn't even be surprised if it makes Joe Manchin have to either retire or just run for governor. And that is why, I mean, I could even put safe R, West Virginia, with Jim Justice against Joe Manchin. But I'm gonna give the benefit of the doubt that it's gonna be a bit closer. I'm gonna say it's gonna be a Jim Justice win here by 7 to 9% to the same margin as Virginia. And New Mexico, I mean, Jim Justice is almost certainly gonna become the next senator unless something big happens in the race, and it's really looking horrible for Joe Manchin here. And now let's go back to the Rust Belt. So in Michigan, yep, in Michigan, it's also kind of the opposite for the GOP here. The GOP is doing great in West Virginia Senate, but in Michigan, it's not looking good. It's for the Democrats, it's almost certain that Slotkin, Elisa Slotkin, will be the nominee. There's also some minor Democrats running, but they're not gonna do any damage or do any good in the primary. While for the GOP, there's a lot of people. If I had to make a guess, it's probably gonna be either James Craig, maybe someone like, oh yeah, John Tootle. So John Tootle is one of the recruits that Steve Daines, GOP Senate recruiter, wants to recruit in 2024. Issue is he's the vice chair of the New York Stock Exchange, so not a really good look for someone to run for Senate, really. Apart from that, he's probably gonna be seen as a carpetbagger from New York, alongside being seen as an elitist who works in Wall Street, so it ain't really looking good for Steve Daines in Michigan. So, I mean, he tries, or he has tried, and yeah, I mean, it's looking awful for the GOP here. I wouldn't even be surprised if we see Michigan vote to the left of New Jersey, which is so cursed. And I see Slotkin, or I should say just the Democrats, winning here by the margin of 5 to 7%, but it's in the future I might even put this as the same margin as Virginia, West Virginia, New Jersey in the future. But yeah, Slotkin win by 6% for now. For another interesting race for Florida. So Florida Democrats are really desperate. We've seen them recently want to convince some famous basketball players to run. Let me see if it's in the Wikipedia for the Democrats. Yeah, I couldn't find it, but Democrats are desperate and they're looking to people like Dwayne Wade and Grant Hill for Senate against Rick Scott in 2024. And it's not a bad idea. I mean, when you're this down bad, you gotta do something crazy. You still have people like, you know, Stephanie Murphy. Oh yeah, it does say there. Oh, nice. Whatever. Stephanie Murphy, also got Gwen Graham there. So you still do have a couple of decent candidates. Not amazing, but maybe if like Trump does horrible in the general, then maybe things could change. I mean, most people are saying likely are or safe are. So I have no idea who the Democrats will nominate for Florida Senate. It could be anyone from Gwen Graham to Dwayne Wade, but I think Rick Scott will win here by 5 to 7%, so same margin as Michigan, but as a win for the GOP, and they keep this seat of course for now, but we will see. It could get really interesting in Florida. And now for the lean states. So let's go to the first lean state. Nevada Democrats have had a couple of good months recently, and if I was a GOP, I would start to get scared here because it's been a long while that there hasn't been any big updates for the GOP here that are good. The only one recently is Jim Merchant, and Jim is not a great candidate to say the least. If we can go there, let's see if it says there. Yeah, he lost in the 4th district of Nevada back in 2020 by 5%. He's not a great candidate by any mean. He's probably like either C- tier candidate or maybe like D+. There's, you know, Rick Harrison, Gilbert, or Brown may run, but there hasn't been any good updates for the GOP here, in all honesty, which is why it is making me want to put this as a high lean D for Jackie Rose in here. And if we don't see any of those 3 people here run, those being Brown, Gilbert, and Harrison, then I will have to put this as likely D in the Senate. Same margin as Michigan maybe, but for now I'm gonna have this as a Rosen win by 3% to 5%, so yeah, it's looking okay for the Nevada Democrats. And now for Wisconsin. Wisconsin, it is interesting. The main issue I would say for the GOP is that they don't have too many good candidates. They do have one, and that is, you know, Baldwin's running for re-election, by the way. I said this before. They do have Gallagher running, who is probably like a, I don't know, like B- tier candidate. He's okay. And there's also Tom Tiffany, who recently has shown interest in running. He's worse than Gallagher, probably. But yeah, there's a lot of people, and there's a lot of unelectable people right here, so if I had to make a guess, it's probably gonna be Gallagher. But if Trump decides to meddle in the primary, we could see someone like David Clark, who would be a very poor candidate. And it's really not sure, I'm not really sure what could happen here. I think it's gonna be lean D, I just don't know by what margin, and I'm gonna guess that Baldwin does very good with incumbency, and that's enough for her to win here by 3% to 5%. It could easily become likely D in the future, but I think lean D is a good margin right now. Moving on to Texas for the big state that in 2018 it was really close though, but it was because it was a blue wave year. And now in 2024, the main issue for the GOP is oh wait, sorry about that. Is how well or how bad they will do in the suburbs. That's really the main issue I do see for Republicans. I think they will do very poorly in the suburbs in the future, or I should say in 2024. So we got Ted Cruz running for re-election, and in the Democrat primary, it is looking more clear. It does look like Colin Allred will be the Democrat nominee. Currently, I'm not too sure. Is there any like polling for that primary or no? Not yet, but he's getting the most money and most momentum in the race. And yeah, I think Allred could do okay. I don't think he will flip the seat in 2024 unless Trump loses Texas to Biden by like 2% in Texas, which would be interesting to say the least. And I have Ted Cruz winning re-election by around the same margin as 2018. I do think Trump hurts a lot of Republicans in the suburbs, so that's going to be a big problem for Republicans in 2024. Still, I do think Ted Cruz wins here by 1% to 3%, so 2% for now. It's kind of close, but still a GOP win here. And now for Arizona. So Arizona, it's one of the most confusing races that we will see in 2024. We may even see a four-way race in Arizona because of the No Labels Party, which is a, you know, like last time I talked about, they are a Bushite era conservative ideology, not party, but platform, you could say. So Sinema is probably running. I mean, she has hinted that she may not even run sometimes, but so many things could happen. Gallego, he's gonna be the Democrat nominee probably. While in the GOP primary, Carrie Lake has hinted more and more that she will run for Senate. And if she does run, I do think she will get the nomination. There's so many Republicans here, which all probably lose in 2024. Except Robson, I think she does okay in the suburbs. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mark Lamb has the Latinos for America First endorsement. There's nothing I think for the No Labels Party yet, but it's really a toss-up. That's what most people would say. But with Carrie Lake hinting more and more that she will run, I have to put this as Lean D. I think most other Republicans would do well enough to the point that they could even maybe like win it by a tilt margin, or Gallego only wins here by a tilt margin. But with Carrie Lake looking more and more likely that she will win the nomination for the Republicans, I have to put this as a Gallego win by 1 to 3%, around that margin, around 2%. So an update for Arizona. And now we're going into the toss-ups and the tilts for the last 2 states. So for Montana, in Montana, it is one of the states that the GOP does lack a lot with candidates for sure. I mean, all the candidates are either meh or just bad. Jon Tester running for re-election, even though he probably doesn't want to. He doesn't want to, but he knows he has to for the Democrats. Here are all the candidates for the GOP: Rosendale, Knudsen, Zinke, and Sheehy, who is probably gonna get the Trump endorsement. Tim Sheehy, CEO, has a lot of money, and that's what Steve Daines is trying to do, to get the most wealthy people to run for Senate, because the GOP lacks a lot with donors. And in 2024, we also know that the Libertarians still have the chance to nominate a candidate, because ranked choice voting, I think, was not passed or just outright failed in Montana. So that's good news for Tester, and I do have him winning here, but 8 tilt margin. I do think he will get lucky yet again with the Libertarians taking away enough votes from the Republicans that it causes them to win. And I think he might only win by something like 49%, which is really crazy that he still can win with that margin, just because Libertarians will screw over the GOP, which is basically like 2022 Kansas governor race. And yeah, by the way, I think Tester wins here by 0.75%. And lastly, for the ultimate toss-up, that is Ohio. Ohio has had some, oh come on man, some new updates, not huge ones, but Bernie Moreno is looking like he will get the Trump endorsement in 2024. He's quite close to Trump. Where is he at? Yeah, he does not have a Wikipedia page, but you know, he does have connections with incumbent Senator J.D. Vance alongside Trump, so that's probably gonna be, I mean, he's probably gonna get the endorsement from him. There's also people that will likely run in the future. LaRose will likely announce in either the coming weeks or even days, so that's something to look out for. But the issue for Bernie Moreno is that he's too close to Trump, to the point that I could actually think it could hurt him in 2024. It is going to be the closest race for now. I do think it's an ultimate toss-up. I could see the GOP winning here by 0.5%, but Sherrod Brown, mostly due to his incumbency and the fact that I do think Trump will likely bottle the election for the Republicans in 2024. If Trump loses by 303 or 319, I do think Sherrod Brown wins in 2024. But if 2024 is closer than 2020, then I think Republicans win here. But for now, I do have Sherrod Brown winning against Bernie Moreno barely by 0.25%. As you can see, if Biden wins re-election alongside this map, this means Harris acts as the tiebreaker, meaning the Democrats keep the Senate in 2024 for now. Thank you for watching. Like, share, and subscribe, and stay tuned for the next video.